Hello everyone, I hope that all of you are doing well. It's time for another shave and I have a new razor in my den I purchased a little while ago and I waited patiently to arrive. This is probably looks familiar. It's not the first time that I use the Karve Overlander on the channel, but this now is my own, and as you can see if you watched the video before, now I'm using the stainless steel version, and this is with the original handle. In the past I featured the Overlander and I shaved with it I think twice on the channel, and it was in brass. I borrowed it from my friend Aaron, and aside from the material being different as well, the handle was not the original Overlander handle, but it was the Gillette Tech inspired handle that Karve are offering on their website as a customizable option. Well, what can we say? It's great shaver. That's something that I already know. I already used the stainless steel a couple of times before recording this video. I just could not resist. And few things to mention. The weight of this one is slightly lighter than the brass version using the original handle. In stainless steel, if I recall correctly, it's 102 grams with this handle, and the brass version is slightly heftier. I think it was around 110 grams. I'll double check and add a note if I remember wrongly. This is the weight with the original handle. We have for the blade gap, it was 0.72 or 73, and the blade exposure of this head design is only offered as one option as well as the gap, and the exposure is 0.07 if I recall correctly. Yeah, fantastic razor, 3-piece, of course, made in Canada. As you can see over here, this is Karve shaving on one side, and here on the other side, I don't know how visible it is. Oh, made in Canada. Yeah, the focus is a little bit challenging. Very nicely balanced. One thing that stood out immediately when I opened the box is that with the original handle compared to the Gillette Tech inspired handle, the balance of the razor feels just right. Yeah, I enjoy short handles, so I kind of like have a dilemma here because I like the length of the Gillette inspired handle, but the balance feels way better with the original Karve handle. So that's a interesting dilemma that I have here. So yeah, I like both. Maybe I'll add the Tech handle to my collection at some point. Okay, before I load the blade, I'm going to show you that I'm going to use the Canada shaving soap. We have Canadian made razor, and we have the most Canadian soap in my collection, made in Canada, and the name is Canada. I'm just going to add some water. This is hard soap. Already use it, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 times, and it looks exactly the same as the day that it arrived. I think that this will last forever. It will outlive me. Hard soap. Just adding a little bit of water because it's been a while since I used it. And for the splash, we're not going to be matchy-matchy. Canada soap, they don't offer any splashes to my knowledge. But I recently got this from my friend Brad. I'll tell you more about it. So I'm going to use RazoRock's Z Peppinio, sticking to the Canadian brand, even though that RazoRock being a Canadian operated brand, I do believe in, I can confirm this seeing it at the back, that this is made in Italy. So yeah, this will be Canadian product, but made in Italy. 3-piece razor, as I mentioned. I'm going to show you the top head as well. A lot of people are speaking about using or not using washers. I personally have experience seeing not only some of my razors, but some razors being used or being sold secondhand on the market, that when you tighten it, you know, metal to metal, when it rubs, occasionally there can like some scuff marks and small scratches. So I like using these washers. I know that Chris from Karve, he adds a note that you should remove these. In my opinion, you know, do whatever you like. I like to use them in some razors I don't. For this one, I like the razor and I prefer to keep it with the washer myself. Before I grab the blade, let me show you. Nice machining, as you can see. Now the focusing is way better. You can see the Karve branding, made in Canada, serial number, the year over here. That's pretty cool. These kind of like discolorations, they're just fingerprints and maybe a little bit of wax from the previous blade that I used. And the base plate, nice big lather channels. Now the focusing here, it's easier as I can bring the base plate closer to the lens. And the peel shape alignment details, the cool thing is that they're not cut through the base plate. So it's nice, classy and modern in a way. I'm gonna use Astor blade. This is gonna be the third use of this blade. These are made in Greece, if I recall correctly. And you can see the blade alignment over here. The tolerances of this razor are fantastic. Also the threading, it's really good. The knurling feels excellent in the hand. I actually like this knurling better than the Gillette one. Yeah, just good stuff. For my brush, I'm gonna use a synthetic brush. This is my Razor Company cream soda synthetic. I think that this one is 28 millimeters, but it doesn't feel like 28 millimeters. It feels more like 20, 26, I guess, 26, 25. Very nice little brush. It's very soft and I think it's just like 20 Canadian dollars or so. Just a really cheap yet excellent performance. One of my favorite brushes for face lathering, which is not something that I do frequently, but here we are. I'm gonna load the brush. That soap is just like a loaded lather bomb, as you can see here, immediately ready to explode. Unscented, you probably already saw from the label. It's gonna do a generous load. Look at that goodness. Look at this. Excellent, excellent. Just a lather bomb, as I said. And if you're afraid to face lather, or if you're not as good as I am not, I'm a bowl latherer, that's a, I assume, very good choice for you because it's super easy to get the lather going. Just wet the face. I just rubbed some of the lather that was shaped after after the loading of the brush and before rinsing the soap, so I just don't waste it. And we're gonna get things going. You can see even with a little bit of water, mostly from that initial spray and wetting the face, the creaminess is there. Really nice soap. And if you have a reaction to most of the fragrance oils, this one is specially created. I think it's using only 7 ingredients, everything that you need for super sensitive skin and to have a good shave and nice lather. I'll speed things up with the power of the editing, so you don't get super bored looking at me lathering, but you can see that this is already shaping up nicely. Okay, getting ready for the first pass. Nice, creamy, dense yogurty lather. That's the way that I like it. Feels great on the face. First pass with Karve Overlander in stainless steel. Going over 2 days of growth. No problem rinsing this razor. Karve are making some of the smoothest razors on the market. Minimal blade feel. If you want to chase, or not to chase, to get more blade feel, I recommend you trying it with the feather. I tried it a couple of times with feather, and surprisingly I actually prefer the BIC Astor. I get better shaves, despite the blade being considered not as sharp, and obviously the width of the feather being slightly bigger from cutting edge to cutting edge. Makes it a bit more efficient. I didn't feel any efficiency lack when I switched back to this blade. In fact, I enjoyed it even more. Very nice first pass. Time to prepare the face for the second one. That soap provides crazy good residual slickness. When you rinse the face, you can certainly feel it, and you can see that very well hydrated, dense lather. Really good stuff. Good soap to get comfortable face lathering, and really excellent feel to the skin. Very nice, luxurious, very slick, nice cushion. Good stuff. Second pass, cross the grain. So the summer vacation is almost over, and I'm not bringing this up because I'm going back to school, but because my oldest son is gonna be back to school, first grade actually. And that's actually welcome change, because it's so challenging to find summer activities to keep him busy, especially at the end of the summer when most of the activities are winding down. I'm sure that the parents watching me may chime in and agree or disagree with me. Or you can share tips. What are you doing when your little ones are on summer break from school? My oldest is full of energy, so keeping him involved with sports and any activity as much as possible, it's really making a difference. And he learned to bike just recently, so he's having a blast going out and biking. And also coming back home from it, it's better because all that energy is out of his system. The challenging part there is that as he's still too young to bike on his own, you need to be always involved and present to make sure that he's doing the right thing, making the safe choices while biking. Anyway, I hope that I didn't bore you with the parenting segment during this shave. After all, you're probably more curious about the razor and the shave than how to deal with little kids during the summer break. Just light coating for the third pass against the grain. This one is one of the smoothest razors and the most comfortable razors with decent efficiency for against the grain pass. It's just hard to explain. I think that all of you should try to, if not purchasing, at least borrow one if you have someone around you that owns one, just use it for shave or two to see how it is. It's really pleasant razor. And for again for the with the grain and cross the grain, the audio feedback is on the quieter side, but against the grain, hopefully the mic can catch that. There is a very nice audio feedback. One last thing that it's worth mentioning, which may not be 100% true, is about the difference in the feel when I use stainless steel versus the brass version of this one. I just feel that the kind of like, how to explain is the texture of the brass feels a little bit more matte compared to the stainless steel, but that's very kind of like small difference. I think that most people will not really feel it, and to me personally it doesn't really make any difference, but that's the only thing that I can say. The bigger change was mainly the balance point because the handles were different length, and that was it. The danger with this razor for your against the grain pass is it's so comfortable and nice that it's addictive, and you may just keep on buffing and buffing to a point that you don't really need to buff anymore. Excellent. And feeling mild for the skin, doesn't diminish the efficiency performance at all. Nice BBS. Really, really nice. Lovely. I think that with the BIC Astor, it's actually way easier compared to the blade that I used in the brass version, which I don't remember what it was. I need to check if I have an old post listing the blade. But yeah, wonderful. Even in my problematic spots, I don't really need to buff anymore. Everything is gone. Perfect. Of course, time for my friend the alum block over here. Just a tiny bit of tingle on a couple of spots, but it's in the kind of like low rating, like 0.5 out of 10. It's the tingling. Just rinse the alum, and if you're wondering, the alum doesn't taste good. A little bit reach my lips. So yeah, be careful. The Peppinio. Now it's time for the splash. I already used this one, and I had the pleasure to meet with Brett from Make It a Great Shave. Make sure to check his Instagram. He's doing fantastic reviews. I'll leave link in the description. So he gave me a lot of cool stuff, and this is one of his favorites that he gave me. This is one of his bottles, and you can see he loves it for sure. Because trust me, Brett, he has tons of super good splashes, and to have him reaching that level here this means that he's into this one. And if you're curious about fragrance and want a really, really well-informed and versed opinion about specific cologne, splash, fragrance, soaps, make sure to follow him and check his daily reviews. He's fantastic. I cannot recommend his content enough. Thanks again, Brett. I really appreciate it. And I already used this one, and that's a really, really pleasant smell. Fresh, classic, and the dry down, there is just some kind of like woody elements. And yeah, I actually didn't check what are the scent notes even. I'm so unprepared. Alcohol splash, and it will let you know. But boy, immediately as the burn kicks, the pleasant smell starts, and it's so good. Really, really good. Yeah, the alcohol is there. Nice burn, refreshing. If you're shaving in the morning, this will give you a nice kick. It will wake you up. Perfect pairing for your coffee. Very, very nice. It's just so good. It's classic. It's masculine. It's also fresh. It's, yeah, it's, I know why it's favorite. One of the favorites that Brett mentioned, that he really loves this one. And yeah, I'm hooked on the Peppinio. I believe that RazoRock, they have also soap, but yeah, I'm gonna finish that bottle for sure. Thanks again, Brett. Yeah, that's just so good, and it's so fresh, and that smell stays good for 12 hours, no problem. I already use it, as I mentioned. Anyway, back to the razor. What did we use today? My new Karve Overlander. If you haven't tried Karve, really, I cannot recommend you enough. And if you order one, now Chris is allowing orders only on products that are ready and completed, but be patient with him. He might be busy with projects, and he, to my knowledge, is the only person working in the shop. So don't worry, your order will get out. Just give him a little bit of time, and you're not going to regret it. Karve Bison, one of my favorites. It's aluminum razor, and it's, yeah, the price point of the Bison is way more accessible than the stainless steel one, which I believe is 265 Canadian dollars. I'll leave a note somewhere in the description. Sorry, not somewhere in the description, somewhere in the corners. And that's pretty much it. What a great shave. I'm still, my brain is just enjoying the Peppinio because it's so great. So yeah, Canadian shave. We had the RazoRock Splash the Peppinio, Canada shaving soap, and Canadian stainless steel Karve Overlander. Fantastic shave. Thanks for staying until the end. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay safe and enjoy smooth shaves.